All right. Today you're hearing the dishwasher in the background. Sorry for all the side noises. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead after 2 days from the video where I stored these mushrooms and show you what they look like so we can see the different storage methods and the uses of those different storage methods. I'm going to start off with the mushrooms I'm not using this morning. I'm getting ready to cook my breakfast. I cook mushrooms with eggs, but I start off with avocado, garlic, olives, and I'll add it to olive oil, salt, and pepper on medium heat, and I'll saute the mushrooms in there after I dice them up, and then I'll add an egg and cheese. But with that said, I want to go ahead and real quickly look at the mushrooms that I had said really almost need no care. So here, I believe, if I'm right, are the warm blue oysters. All I did with these was stick them in a bowl, put a dry paper towel on them, and put a top. And you can see this top has droplets on it now. So if I were preserving these for longer than I'm going to, I would dry that top off or replace it after I checked on it. But anyway, put those aside. These are the mushrooms that were in good shape, but I wanted to preserve for longer. So these were the summer whites too. The summer whites are just by definition more fragile. They have a higher surface area. They have more moisture content. Anyhow, so I've wrapped these individually, and if you look back at my other video, you'll notice that these look exactly the same as when I put them in here. And these are not the ones I wrapped individually. These are the ones I just stuck in, and instead of putting a paper towel only on top, I put it around. So these were ones that I was going to use pretty quickly. I might use those today, we'll see. These are the ones that were in, kind of pretty moist and may need to be eaten quickly, but I did wrap these individually. So what you'll notice as I pull these out is they are just in fantastic shape. These are great. They can go several more days like this, most likely. We'll see. I'm going to leave them in here. And I'm not going to change the paper towels just out of laziness and showing you the most lazy ways. Now, here are the two that I would often recommend when you come back from market you eat pretty quickly. One I put in an open bowl, just wrapped in paper towels, and one I left in the paper bag. This is a good idea to kind of show you the difference between the two. So I'm going to get a little plate out here, and I'm going to take these out of the bag and just dump them on the plate. Now, as you can see, if you can see this, and the light's not the best over here, I don't know if I can add more light, but these are beginning to degrade. They're a little sloppy, they're changing colors a little bit, they're still completely edible, and as a matter of fact, I am going to eat these this morning instead of the ones I pointed to early, because the other ones are going to last longer, and they're still good, and I'm going to chop them up and eat them in a moment, but they're getting where, they're going to fall apart. It's not, ideal, okay? It's not perfect. And the reason being is I left them in this paper bag. If I put mushrooms in a paper bag for a customer, they go put them in their fridge and forget about them for a few days, well, they're going to be real loose. They're going to be kind of moist, and they're going to degrade quicker because they are simply trying to eat themselves in that paper bag with the moisture content that they had left. Now, vice versa, we're going to look at these. These I just stuck in a paper towel, put them in an open bowl, and as you can see, if you look at the two, you can see a much wider color on the ones that I put in with the paper towels. So it's not, it may not be as visible on this video as it is in person, but these are wider and much firmer, much firmer. So these can still go for another day or so, if not a couple of days, just in this kind of lazy person's method of, I'm going to put them in a bowl, I'm going to put paper towels underneath the mushrooms, I'm going to I put a little bowl of paper towel, a little ball of paper towel in there to help absorb, and this is pretty wet. And then a paper towel on top, and I'm just going to stick it in the fridge. So right now, if I was to talk about how to use these methods, if you buy mushrooms at the market and the vendor puts them in a paper bag and you take them home and you eat them that day, awesome. if you're going to wait a day or so, I highly recommend removing them from the paper bag, putting a paper towel in the bottom of a bowl, putting the mushrooms in it, and putting a paper towel on top of the bowl. If you're going to preserve them for a few days or a week or so, I recommend doing a little more work by putting them in a Pyrex container, or even an open container if you wanted to let the moisture wick out more, and wrapping them in layers. I mean, you can see these are perfect. And these are all the same mushrooms that I took and stored differently. One I stored in the paper bag, one I stored in an open bowl, and one I gave a little more care to trimming and individually, or layering, excuse me, not individually, but layering them in paper towels. So when you get moist mushrooms from the market, which you're going to get when you have summer white varieties or you have the summer sort of varieties, you have choices. And of course, here's a little more care with it wrapped in a paper towel and sealed up. And anyhow, I'm going to get ready to go eat my breakfast, or prepare my breakfast. I hope this is helpful.